Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Knitting Texan podcast. My name is Ren, also known as Knitting Texan on Ravelry, and this is my podcast about knitting and all kinds of other stuff that I'm getting into. I am coming to you from a small town in Texas where I'm from and where I live with my family. So, kind of realized that I'm going to need to record today just because it's been 2 weeks, I believe, since I recorded my last one. We have family coming tomorrow, number one, and then I'm taking all next week off. And then the next Saturday that I would be recording, Friday, Saturday that I would be recording will be my birthday. So it was either record today or you won't see me for 3 weeks. So I've also got plenty of finished objects today. I guess let's just hop right into it. So the first finished object that I have is been kind of long awaited. A lot of people have been really interested in these. And these are my moisturizing socks that I made for my dad. This is made out of 100% wool. So they are feltable, but that's just because I tried to get the cheapest worsted weight wool yarn that I could. And so yeah, this is Shepherd's Classic 100% wool. And it's kind of like this light blue. In some lights it looks periwinkle, but it's pretty much just baby blue. And so I made these because my dad's been having trouble with dry feet, cracked heels, all that kind of stuff. And I researched online that wool is supposed to help with that sort of kind of thing. They recommend wearing 100% wool socks for that, or at least the place I saw did. And so I ended up making him custom moisturizing socks because his feet are too big for the one size fits most moisturizing socks. And so far they are working really well, fit really well, and also because it doesn't have a toe, they're not as slippery. So I was kind of worried about that after I gave it to him. I was like, these are going to be really slippery because they're very thick. But yeah, they fit. He wears them, and you can kind of see that the heels are kind of felted. Because I gave them to him after I finished them. I basically washed them and then gave it to him. I tend to use conditioner to wash my wool knits. These fit just fine, and they're working great. Really cool. So those are done. I'm going to probably make a second pair. All he wanted was 2 pairs. So let's move on to the next finished object, and that is actually completely out of season, but it's another pair of worsted weight socks, and these are for me, and they're kind of like scrappy socks. I used 2 half skeins that I had left over, I believe, to make these chunky socks, and you can kind of see that they're marled. And so I believe this was these are both Lolo did it, they're both the same base. They turned out really great. They fit well. They're really long. And these will be on hold until winter because I definitely don't need these now. But I just was in the mood for a quick pair of socks, I guess. And these were actually finished a couple weeks ago, but I just forgot to show them on my last podcast. I think they were actually finished for that one, but I forgot to show them. So here they are. And I believe I used a US size 8 VPNs for these. Really happy with them. They're very soft. They're not incredibly tight or stiff. I wanted to try a longer. So that's my second finished object. And then I have 2 more, actually, because I participating in the Desert Vista Dye Works 8th annual knit along. I don't know the correct name for it because it's a very long name. But I made 2 pairs of shorty socks because the prompt is that you can make a sock with at least a 5-inch leg, or 2 pairs of shorty socks, or anything that uses at least half a skein. That's typically the thing, is as long as it uses at least half a skein, they're good. I made 2 pairs of men's size shorty socks, and this used over 50 grams of both of them. I think it was like 52, 51, really close to 50, but still over. And this is my first pair. There's a second sock for it, but this is the only one I have the sock blocker, and then this is the second pair. So these are both for my June Desert Vista Dye Works socks, shorty socks, and they are kind of in the same style. They both use the same black for the cuff and heel, and then I just went all the way down to the toe with both yarns. And both of these guys have a friend. Both of them have a friend. And so, yeah. So these were my finished pairs of socks for the Desert Vista Dye Works cowl for June. And I am also planning on doing shorties for July, but they will be for me instead of these big sized min socks or these min sized big socks. Or I think both worked just fine, but anyway. And then I have 2 half finished objects. Actually, one of these blockers. Did I mention what the Desert Vista dye works were? I don't remember if I mentioned what the colorways were, but they were Bonfire and Color Accents. This is Bonfire, which is a colorway I've used before, actually, for Desert Vista dye works. And then this was Color Accents Green, I believe. Definitely green, but I don't know if she called it lime or green. I think it's just green. And the first, so basically what I did is I cast on a pair of socks in between the June Desert Vista dye works and the July. Oh, by the way, all my socks are knit on US size 1 ChowGoo DPNs. And I have a formula for my min size socks and for my size shorty socks. So this is my first half finished object. And it's a very dark colorway, so it's very hard to see, but there's actually a stripe here. So this is from Taria's Terrific Threads. And this is in the September colorway, I believe is what she called it. And then this up here is actually Lolo Did It and Rumpelstiltskin. And it actually matched the green stripe really well. I actually got this for a different sock yarn, but I ended up not needing the sock yarn. I ended up changing the project that I wanted to do. And so then I ended up using it in these socks, and the green fit really well. So yeah, really enjoyed making these socks. I literally just finished this sock a couple hours ago, and so the second one is not even cast on. But it does come in this, let's just show you. I'm keeping it in my library Bags by Awesome Granny bag. This is just the Notions pouch size, which is big enough for me for a pair of socks. But it comes in this really cool knob stopper ball. Really cool color. The yellow is kind of blowing out a little bit, and it's maybe because I have this window open on my screen, and that's why I have the blue. But it's a really cool colorway. It's got dark blue stripes. Like each stripe is separated by this dark blue stripe, and then there's a yellow, a kind of indigo color, a green, a red, and then it goes back to yellow and starts over. Really enjoying these. Like I said, the second one has not been cast on yet. Trying to get the needles out of here. But these are the needles. So no sock on there yet. And then this is the Rumpelstiltskin mini, if you're interested. And this is on her everyday sock base, which is a 75-25. Both of these are 75-25, so I didn't mind mixing dyers, and it's not going to focus on this. That's that project. Just trying not to make a complete and utter mess. And then the second half-finished object is for me. It's a pair of shorty socks, but this is just the first sock, and it's a bright, summery, colorful sock. So this is Mustache Yarns in the Hawaii Volcanoes colorway, and it's her perfect match set, but luckily for me, I can get a pair of socks out of 50 grams because I have small feet, but you know, I get to make more socks, I guess, out of one skein of yarn. But anyways, this is the colorway here. It starts from after I pick up the stitches on the heel flap. And this is Yarn Bee Color Idol in the Ellis for Lemon, I believe, colorway. It's blowing out a little bit on screen. It's actually a little bit more of not so much a neon yellow, but kind of a more sunny yellow, lemon yellow. So yeah, I really enjoyed these. Mustache Yarns sock yarn. This is my first time using it. It's a 75-25, but it does feel a bit thinner than the 75-25s I'm used to. And so it did come out a little smaller and a little tighter than my normal socks. I swear it's tighter, even though it fits the sock blockers pretty much the same. So I don't know. It's not that much of a difference is my point. So you may have to do like maybe one more row or maybe two more rows for the foot if compared to what you would normally do for a thicker sock yarn. But this is a really cool colorway. I've never really had a colorway before with such a big stripe repeat. It's really fun knitting these up. The second one for this one is cast on, but I'm in the heel flap, so not that far along. And this is again in a Bags by Awesome Granny Notions pouch size. This is the Texas Wildflowers one, I think. And I really like her bags because I can keep all of my stitch markers for the 10 round increments. I mark 10 rounds, and then I know when I need to start the toe is after all my stitch markers are gone on this little ring. This is the current state. I think I maybe done one round or one row of the one back and forth of the heel flap. And so it's teeny tiny, but that's my second sock. And here's the colorway in the cake. Really bright, fun, summery color. Really been enjoying these, especially, and I did wind off a little bit because I've kind of gotten to the point where I want my socks to match. Just because I'm using the same color for the heel, for the cuff and for the heel, I can pretty much match them exactly just as long as I start in the same place here. And so I've been kind of experimenting with different versions of my socks. So those are that project. Well, my last whip is actually a different one for me. I started a sweater. Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? I'm starting a sweater in summer. Yes, I'm starting a sweater in summer. And I'm actually really enjoying it. So I've seen this pattern a couple times. A couple people have knitted it. I think it was Inga of Knitting Traditions made it, and then Amber, I believe, of Birch and Lily. They've both knit one, I believe. And so this is the Nordiska by Caitlin Hunter, I think. And I am, let's see, which way is it? I think this is the front. So it's got a V-neck in the front. It's hard to show. It's got a V-neck in the front, right there. And so I finished the V-neck, and I'm working the rest of the raglan increases until I split for sleeves, which should be pretty soon, I believe. I think now I'm just increasing on the sleeves. So if you know the pattern, that's about where I am, is the part where you're just increasing on the sleeve caps or for the sleeves. Now, I did modify this pattern just a little bit. I actually took out the cable pattern that's supposed to be here, and I just replaced it with 4 knit stitches because you're not increasing in this little space. You're just doing a cable pattern. So, and I was not interested in doing a cable pattern. So I just did knits and purls instead. Or I just did knit stitches instead of the cable pattern. Instead of twisted knit stitches for the cable pattern. And I am using Cascade Heritage. This is my first time using Cascade Heritage. It's a 75-25, and I believe this is in the, I forget what colorway this is, because this is just, I believe their colors are just numbers. Yep. Color number 5631. You can see it there. So yeah, this is my first time working with Cascade Heritage. It's actually very nice and very soft. I'm actually really enjoying it. It does feel a slight bit thinner than, again, what I'm used to, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just because I'm using a bigger needle than a US size 1. I'm using a 4, which I believe is called for needle size. I just went ahead and went for it without swatching, which is, I know, kind of a controversial topic. But the smallest size is either 2 to 4 inches bigger than my bust measurement, and I have a very small waist, and so it's kind of like, so it didn't really bother me if it came out smaller, which I tend to have a tighter gauge than most, but I think I'm actually on gauge or maybe even slightly bit bigger. So I was just not really that concerned with the size it came out to. If it came out 40 inches, great. If it came out 41-inch circumference, great. If it came out 38-inch circumference, great. I wasn't really that concerned with it. I was just more trying out knitting a traditional raglan sweater, which is something that I've never done before. Now, if you know the Nordiska, you've got this main color, and then towards the bottom of the hem, you have color work both on the body and on the sleeves. And so my other 2 colorways for the color work is this, which this is Old Farm Truck from Mandy's Makings. It's half of a share a pair set, and I believe it's the exact amount the pattern calls for the contrast color. I believe it's contrast color 1. If not, it's the main color of the color work, if that makes sense. And then my second colorway is just this white mini from, I want to say this right, I believe it's Nanette Wake Studio. And that might be really hard to read because it's very tiny, but that's it. And it's in the colorway Vanilla. It's an 8515 fingering weight mini. And then this is the tag. No, that's not the tag. Oh, I don't have the tag in here. I have 2 Cascade fingering tags instead of the Mandy's Makings tag. But hers is 7525, and it's the Old Worn Jeans and then Old Farm Truck, which is this one. And so I also have another cake ready, the Cascade Heritage, for when I run out of this one, but it may be a while because I'm pretty sure it only takes 2 skeins for my size. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that. This project. I've really been enjoying the yarn, and it's a new type of project for me. So really been enjoying it. It's not that far along, but it's getting there. Alrighty. I think that's it for the knitting. I do have a bit of chat. Really, I have kind of a question, and maybe y'all will know the answer to this question. So I was watching Amber of Birch and Lily, and she was talking about, I believe her name is Amber. I hope her name is Amber because that's driving me crazy that I don't remember. But she was talking about an afterthought heel pattern that she uses that fits like a heel flap and gusset, or she feels that it fits her foot the same way as a heel flap and gusset. So I was wondering if, I believe it's called the pheasant heel. I can't think of the designer. Let me just get a press. Oh, okay. The heel pattern is the afterthought heel pattern included in the Simple Shortbread Socks by Lindsay Fowler, which I believe is called, I don't know where I'm getting pheasant heel. I don't know if that's from this pattern or or if that's something else I'm thinking about. But my question is, has any of y'all used that pattern for an afterthought heel? And does it fit like a heel flap and gusset? Because for me, short row heels don't really fit the same way because I have a very long heel. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't know if you call that a large instep. And so short row heels don't really work for me. They tend to slide under my foot. I'm interested to see if y'all have had any experience with that and if it works for those of us who have trouble with socks doing that. Because I've tried the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I've tried the German short row. I've tried one other that uses eyelets. That may just be the basic short row heel. I don't know. And then I believe I tried the shadow wrap heel or something similar. And those all tend to slide under my foot and under my family's feet. And so I've just kind of resorted to heel flap and gusset, which is fine. I'm fine with doing heel flap and gusset. I enjoy it, especially now that I've learned to knit backwards. It's made the heel flap and gusset a lot faster. I would like to try maybe getting some sock tubes or something and doing an afterthought heel in those, or getting sock tubes made. Sorry, dog's barking. But getting sock tubes made and then having afterthought heels in them. Or maybe just having socks on a 9-inch circular that I can work on and pick up and put down, and then later put in a heel. So that's kind of my chatty part. Thank you guys so much for your support on the last video. It's probably my most popular video yet, which is pretty crazy. And thank you for all your comments, of course. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.